I think this video is going to be different than any other video that I have filmed or that I'm seeing online, because in this video you're going to learn how to make your eyebrows straight no matter what eyebrow shape you have. Someone left a comment on one of my videos. The video itself was me basically shaving off the tail end of my brow and filling it in and showing you how to get straight brows that way. But their comment was like, hey Michelle, like this kind of only works because your arch point is very lateral, and some of us have arches that start kind of like in the middle, so we can't really shave off most of our brows. And I was like, facts, this is super, super true. Some people are just not ready to shave off half their brow in order to get that straight brow shape. So if that's you, just keep on watching. I'm gonna show you, no matter what kind of brows you have, whether they're super arched or super rounded, like rounded, how you can get a straight brow with two different types of method. One with a shaving method and one without a shaving method. And I cannot wait to show you guys. So let's hop into them. I'm gonna take you over to my iPad. Okay, so these are all the brow shapes. There's straight, soft arch, curved, high arch, S-shaped, and angled. Ultimately, straight is what we're trying to go for. So let's say you have a soft arch. You would shave all of this off to about here where the arch begins, and then you would fill it in straight. So that now this is looking more like this. Okay, cool. How would you do it for curved? Same idea, arch starts about here. So you would just start shaving all of this off and then fill it in and fake it out. So those were some pretty easy shapes. It starts getting a little bit harder when the arch is very high, like this one over here, because you're gonna have to start shaving more off. So you would go from almost most of the brow. Like you would have to be able to live with yourself without makeup looking kind of like this. You could also henna it on. Let me know if you guys want to see a video on how to henna your brows so that it's more of a longer term solution. I don't know, maybe if you're married and you're seeing your partner all the time and you don't want them to see you with like crazy brows, or I don't know, I'm trying to think of another reason. So you still have a bit of that arch, but it's more straight. And not only would you fill in the tail, but like a little bit at the front too, just to make it all kind of like more straight. No, would you? You wouldn't. That's looking more arched now, actually. But what really matters is how you're filling in like this right here. Because if you start going like this, all of a sudden we have an arch. Like we've reintroduced the arch back. But if you're able to finish the tail off quite straight, going this way, you can take a really arched brow, like this was a high arch brow, and make it straight. I think what the comment was referring to was more along the lines of these types of shapes, where the arch starts pretty close to the beginning of the brow laterally. So like right here. You would just have to shave before the arch. And I guess live with yourself knowing that this is your brow. So for this one, if you have a really high arch brow, what you would do is you would shave that chunk off and focus right here as well on the bottom and bring it straight. See how much more straight that is? They're all starting, like, this is super straight. Also, hopefully that wasn't in focus this entire time. So that's S-shaped. And then if you have a brow that looks like this, where it is super, super arched, about here, like you see it's still straight, but you just have to follow the natural curve. And that's your straight brow. It really matters, again, like it really matters where this point is going. It would look something like this. So now for fun, let's see how all these brows looked before. This is how all the brows were looking before, okay? And you could take any shape brow and make it straight. Let's say you do not want to shave most of your brow off because you can't live with having basically half a brow. Let's do the second method, which is just coloring it in. And like also totally understandable if you just don't want to have half a brow, you know? By the way, guys, my name is Michelle Bali. I have tons of beauty and even a lot of brow content. So if you love makeup and brows and hair and fashion and lifestyle, actually there's no fashion videos, but if you like beauty and skincare, then make sure that you're hitting subscribe. But back to the video. Here are our brows. We're just gonna do a pencil method. So starting with Miss Soft Arch. So we're not shaving, we're just making the brow straight. You would go underneath and fill in that portion and then give yourself more hairs at the front. Boom, you got a straight brow. It's a bit of a botched job, but you can kind of see what I'm getting at. If this is the middle, right, of the brow, then technically this part is low, right? This part is high. And you want to bring both sides closer to the center line. That's basically what we're doing. All right, let's do it with the next one. This is fun. Again, fill in the bottom. Right? You can like mask the tail basically. Hold on, let me tell you what I just did. For a curved shape, you would fill in this area to make it all on a straight plane. Like that. And then give yourself a little bit of height here. You got a straight brow. If you can take this tail and gel it so that the hairs are going kind of like straight up, then you can fake a different and new tail and make the new tail really end off like going like this way. You got a straight brow. High arch, same principle. Fill in this. Like we want to make it realistic. Like realistically, you're probably not. And just try your best to make a tail like that. That one's tough. Actually, I'm gonna go on a limb and say like, I don't actually think if you have a high arch brow like this, that you can achieve the fully straight brow look without really shaving off this. You do kind of have to shave it. It's probably not what you wanted to hear. It's what you gotta do, I fear. And then with this shape brow, this one's a little bit easier because the arch is a little bit softer, but this S-shaped brow, you can get away with not shaving. Let's get that color. Just makes it a little bit easier when you. And then make your planes all even, you know? There you go. I am telling you, what I do is when I have this little tail end, I take this tiny little, because you're gonna see it. If you have this shaped brow, you're probably gonna have a little tail that is going below where you're drawing. Take this tiny little tail and just glue it and force the hairs to go up. Same thing here. A little bit more difficult because this is super low and this is super high. But you would take your pencil, boom, underneath, fake the tail here, gel this little straggler. That's as straight as you're gonna get with that kind of a brow, pretty much. What do you guys think? You're gonna get better results by shaving, but if you're not comfortable shaving most of your brow, then the rule of thumb is to reduce the amount of arch here, lower the highs, and heighten the lows. Hopefully this has been helpful, guys. This has been really fun to film. Let me know which method you prefer, whether it's shaving or just penciling. So that's how you do it in theory. If you want to see like a live action on how it's done, how it's shaved, how it's penciled in, then watch this video right here. It's going to show you live how I do it, what products I use, and all that fun stuff. So I will see you over there in the next video.